sir.
And, you know, you got to have your priorities in order when it comes to making cartoons. Like these guys right here. If you don't know already, a Futurama revival is ordered at Hulu with multiple original cast members returning. Now, at first glance, the deal here is that they're bringing back Futurama, and that's well and good. Although, to be honest, I like that show, but I'd like it to end where it is because they ended the story.
Right.
For it to carry on beyond that doesn't make sense. And this isn't a spoiler alert because it's old enough that if you're going to see it, you maybe should have seen it by now. But here's the thing, man. At the end of the last season, Fry and Leela get stuck in a, like, time bubble thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where they age while the world stands still. It's an episode of The Twilight Zone. At the end of it, they find a way to go back, but it's under the pretense that they wouldn't remember anything. So, essentially, they create a loop in what the show is.
Right.
The last episode goes all the way back to the first one. You know?
So it could just go on in perpetuity.
Right, and that being the case, doesn't that mean the series is fucking over?
I mean, it's literally wrapped up.
Right, so if they continue going, they're essentially rebooting the fucking thing.
Right.
So are they going to do the episodes again?
I don't know.
And they may have bigger problems. Why Futurama star John DiMaggio won't voice Bender in the Hulu revival for now. Those of you who watch Futurama know already. The main three casts, and that is Billy West, who is maybe the best voice actor of our generation. It's a tough race, but he is fucking up there. Katey Sagal, who was originally Peg on Married with Joan, has done a whole bunch of shit since then and is great as Leela, and John DiMaggio as Bender, and a couple other voices along the way as well. He's great on that show, but word around the campfire is that he's not going to be in the remake.
Now, see, I feel like, because all these articles we've seen about this say, for now.
It's
at
true.
The end. I think these people are breaking this story early because clearly the negotiations aren't over yet.
Certainly not. A big part of me thinks this is a fucking work.
Yeah!
This is all a fucking work just to get people interested in it. There ain't no contract dispute. They just are, they're working it a little bit in the news. I would not put that past motherfuckers at all. People do it all the time.
Driving up that interest, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Creating controversy so people be talking about it.
I mean, look at
like
this.
Us. We're talking
about it. Look at this. Ellipsis. For now.
For now.
Really?
With gravitas,
EntertainmentWeekly.com. This is really what we're doing here. Point being, a bunch of people are coming out in support of him. As it turns out, as far as I can tell, now it's not that I have proof of this necessarily, but the word is that he didn't think the contract was right? They weren't offering enough money for it. That may be the case, but what I also heard was that they offered him the same amount that they offered Billy West and Katey Sagal, and that they both took it. Not a great look, particularly considering, are you going to try to pretend that John DiMaggio's role is bigger than Billy West's role on that show? Because that is objectively not true.
Do you think you're a bigger star than Peg Bundy?
That's true. Katey Sagal was Peg Bundy. Billy West was Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
John DiMaggio was Jake the dog. I mean, I'm making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Don't get me wrong. I'm into it. He's good. I wouldn't watch the show if they didn't have him on it. But I mean, what the fuck, dude?
Come on, man.
Now, what is the point? Is he suggesting they should all get paid more? That's possible. But this story sounds a little out of whack, you know? That I know Bender's an asshole, but that's a fictional character, not the voice actor. It feels unlikely that a guy like Billy West, who, I mean, Jesus, dude, his fucking rap sheet is crazy. You know what I mean?
Right. He likely would have several voices. I'm sure John DiMaggio would as well, but probably not more than Billy West.
I honestly, as far as number of characters to do, Phil LaMarr and Maurice LaMarche go bigger just on numbers than John DiMaggio, but Bender is a huge part. Right, he's up in the same tier of importance as Fry and Leela. Fry and Leela are, of course, the most important part. It's a love story over the course of several years. Blah, blah, blah. But Bender is a very crucial balance and a lot of people's favorite character. I mean, I get the importance. I just, is the question that they all should get paid more? Or does John DiMaggio think he should be paid more than Billy West? Because I would not agree with that.
Now, see, that's a good question. That's a good question. Because, like, if they raised all of their rates, would John DiMaggio then be like, oh, well, if they're getting that, I want this?
Yeah,
then?
that's
a
fair.
good question.
Because that was the thing like a million years ago on, remember with Seinfeld? Seinfeld was getting $1 million an episode and the other three were getting $750,000 per episode, which is still a ridiculous amount of money for all of them.
Right.
But weren't they pissy for a season about it or something?
I think something like that.
I'm just saying show's called Seinfeld.
His name's on the show.
And they didn't write any of them. I don't know. I'm just saying, man.
Right.
I don't know, dude. This is a tough one, and this is one I want to keep an eye on because I
just kind of feel like, okay, so I get it. He's basically saying to them, you can't do the show without me, so give me the money I require, right?
I mean, he is in a position of power, at least to some degree there.
What gives him the right, though, considering, like, what if Billy West was the last one? It's just because he's the last one who hadn't taken it, you know what I mean?
Well, they all have the right to say no to the job. You know, I mean, free market is free market. I get that, but isn't Bender the role that made him? Didn't he do that before Adventure Time? I think I'm not 100% on that.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Case. And realistically, other than Bender and Jake the Dog, I can't think off the top of any other really big ones he's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's done stuff, obviously.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Again, I'm not arguing that he's prolific and that he's great and that he has to be on the show. I'm with all that. But if the idea is that your star power merits you a higher fee than Billy West, who clearly has a bigger minutes per episode part than you do, I just do not agree with that. I don't agree with that, man. I don't know. What I will say is this: either way, you have to get all three of them to do it. And really, you have to have Phil LaMarr. You have to have Maurice LaMarche.
Yep.
You have to have
Tress MacNeille.
Tress MacNeille. Fucking it. What's the girl's name that does Amy? I can see her face. I can't think of her name.
She did Connie and
but if you're gonna bring back some, it has to be everybody. You know what I mean? You really have to fucking have everybody. And here's why I think it could be a work. They could do half of the first episode where Bender has a different voice, and then it turns out it's some kind of error in his programming. And at the halfway, it becomes John DiMaggio to come in with, I'm back, baby. And then he lights a cigar, and it would kill.
Yeah.
It would kill.
Maybe it's a work.
Christ, I hope so, because it's a lot better than ruining a show I actually liked, since Matt Groening has destroyed the only other show I liked that he ever did. And that's The Whale's Honest Truth, whether you're dead or alive.